Good morning to everyone, and thank you for being here today. My name is Valentina, and today I will present this contribution, which I prepared together with Professor Paolo from the University of Salerno. In this presentation, I will talk about Paralympic athletes' bodies are represented in media, especially from the point of view of media professionals. This contribution is part of a broader PNRR research project called Disability. This project is carried out by two research units, the University of Bologna and the University of Salerno. The general aim is to understand how Paralympic sport is represented in media and how these representations affect the way disability is seen and understood. A key idea of the project is that representation is never neutral. It always involves choices, responsibilities, and power. Within the project, the two research units worked on different perspectives. The Bologna unit interviewed elite Paralympic athletes, asking them directly how they feel about their media representation. The Salerno unit instead focused on media professionals. We interviewed journalists, photographers, cameramen, and commentators who covered the Paralympic Games. This project allowed us to deepen our understanding of media's role in the representation of disability sport, while also showing that media representations are not produced only through text or images, but by people working under time pressure, editorial constraints, and emotional situations. In today's presentation, we will focus on this second perspective, the voices of media professionals. During the interviews, we talked about many things, daily practices, ethical doubts, constraints, and responsibilities. Very quickly, one theme began to emerge again and again across the interviews, the body. How to show it, how much to show it, and how to talk about it without harming the athletes. This is where our analysis starts. When we talk about the body from a sociological point of view, we are not talking only about biology or physical functions. We are talking about meanings, expectations, norms, about what the body is supposed to look like or how it is supposed to behave. Bodies are always read within culture. They are compared, evaluated, and classified. Some bodies are considered normal, efficient. Others are seen different, problematic, or out of place. As Schilling reminds us that the body is not just something we have, but something that is constantly shaped by social meanings. This is where the issue of the gaze becomes crucial because it is never neutral. Looking is already a way of doing something. It selects, it highlights, it creates difference. Certain bodies attract attention more than others, and this attention is not always comfortable or harmless. Paralympic sport makes all of these very visible. It brings into the public and media space bodies that are often marginalized or hidden in everyday life. Suddenly, these bodies are at the center of attention on screens, in photographs, in commentary. And this visibility is not just about sport. It raises deeper questions about how we look at disability and what we expect from athletic bodies. From this reason, Paralympic media coverage is a particularly important space to observe how bodies are framed, negotiated, or sometimes contested through social narratives. This slide focuses on the idea of ambivalence. In media representations of Paralympic athletes, technology often becomes central. Prostheses and assistive devices attract attention and are usually described as signs of innovation, progress, and enhancement. In this way, technology helps place the athlete within familiar ideas of sport and performance. At the same time, bodies marked by visible impairments often produce a different reaction. They can cause discomfort or curiosity, showing that there is a still strong cultural unease toward bodily difference. This ambivalence reflects a wider tension in how technologically mediated bodies are understood. As Wolbrink suggests, celebrating technology can turn into forms of technoablism, where value and legitimacy are measured through efficiency, performance, and technological optimization. Technology then risks becoming a new standard against which bodies are judged. In the Paralympic context, these dynamics are very clear. Media narratives are often move between normalization and exceptionalism, presenting athletes either as no different from able-bodied competitors or as extraordinary figures who challenge common ideas of sport and human body. At a methodological point of view, this study is based on 13 qualitative interviews with media professionals who covered the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games. We used an hermeneutic approach focusing on meanings and interpretations rather than numbers or quotes. Our goal was not to judge media professionals, but to understand how they deal with difficult choices in practice. What clearly emerges from the interviews is that disability is often understood, first of all, as visual matter. What really makes a difference is not the athletic performance itself, but what immediately stands out to the eye. Many interviewees talk about differences between sports. Swimming is mentioned very often. In swimming, the body is exposed, almost naked, and there is a little technological mediation. Because of this, some forms of disability become much more visible. As an interviewee explained, at photographical level, a swimmer, for example, with a visible amputation attracts much more attention than a swimmer whose disability is not immediately recognizable, for example, in blind or deaf people. This strong visibility can make an emotional impact. Some interviewees describe feelings of shock or discomfort, especially when first approaching Paralympic swimming. Seeing bodies marked by severe amputations or malformations is described as something that strongly affects the gaze, at least at the beginning. Athletics is described is a very different in a very different way. Here, processes play a mediating role. They often make the body appear more readable within familiar sporting categories. Some interviewees even describe these bodies as fascinating, almost because of the combination between human body and technology. These accounts show that visibility is not the same across sports. The same disability can be perceived very differently depending on how the body is exposed or mediated. This slide shifts the focus on how media professionals trying to deal with disability in an ethical way. Many interviewees explain that constantly highlighting impairment can reinforce stereotypes or create some distance. For this reason, normalization becomes an important ideal, treating Paralympic athletes like any other athletes. Some professionals also describe learning over time not to notice disability at first glance. This is not automatic. It requires experience and a specific way of training the gaze. As Howe suggests, this strategy helps legitimize the Paralympic body as an athletic body, but it can also make disability less visible. Within this approach, technology plays a key role. In sports like athletics, processes are often described as part of the performance itself. Technology help shift attention toward performance and efficiency in this sense. At the same time, as Fulbrink points out, this focus on this focus on technology can turn into a new standard of value. The athlete's legitimacy may start to depend on technological enhancement. In this sense, technology supports normalization, but it also creates or could create new boundaries. The Paralympic body clearly appears as a site of ongoing negotiation. In some cases, it is treated as a visual challenge, something that needs to be carefully managed through the gaze. In other cases, it is normalized in order to reduce the symbolic distance from Olympic sport. In still other cases, it is understood through technology where prostheses help tell the story, but can also introduce new hierarchies of value. What these findings highlight is that representation is not just the result of media text or images. It is a situated practice shaped by people who produce them and by the tensions they have to face. Media professionals actively move between visibility and invisibility, normalization and exceptionalism, performance and bodily difference. Rather than offering final or definitive conclusions, this study invites us to see Paralympic media representation as a process in the making, one that continues to evolve alongside cultural debates about disability, sport, and technology. We thank you for your attention. If you have any curiosities or suggestions or doubts, please feel free to reach out. Have a nice day.